Hi, I'm Venus O'Hara and welcome to another video. Today I wanted to make a different video called The Art of Spending Time Alone. Oh yeah, I think there are lots of people spending time alone now with since about a year ago due to the pandemic and lockdown, etc. And I think for many people the loneliness has been quite a shock, or the amount of time people are spending alone is they might not be used to it. And for me, I think I've become a little bit of an expert on spending time alone way before the pandemic. So I wanted to share some of my experience and wisdom with you if you want to learn how to spend your time alone more constructively, or if you're struggling with it, etc. Anyway, about my experience of spending time alone. As a child, I spent a lot of time alone. I think that was a great preparation for me for adult life. I wasn't allowed to do a lot of the things that other kids did when I was growing up, etc. So that meant I had to spend a lot of time alone, and I could have got into the bad crowds or whatever and rebelled against that. But for me, my form of rebellion was studying, really, and I spent a lot of time in libraries and just on my own studying so I could be free, and that's exactly what I did. And also, I went to university for 4 years. So when you're studying or researching something, there's a lot of time that you spend alone. And also, at that time in my life, I didn't really appreciate teamwork. I do now, though. So I think when you're in a group and you're all working towards the same goal with the same skills, there can be kind of competition. You might not want to share ideas, etc. Whereas now, this is a bit of a sidetrack, I absolutely love working with other people. I think with different skills that complement mine, and we can get a lot further than being someone on your own. And also, I've not just the fact that I wasn't allowed to kind of do a lot of the things that other teenagers or kids did when I was growing up, but also I was considered a bit of a weirdo when I was at school. And I think when you're a weirdo, I think it can be a bit. I was never in the cool gang or anything like that. Cool gang, isn't that a band? So I was never part of the cool group. I was always considered to be a weirdo. And I think when you're younger or a teenager, you want to kind of fit in. But as you get older, you realise that all these things that make you weird are actually your best qualities. And yeah, so I found it also as being a weirdo. It's fantastic to connect with other people that I consider to be on my wavelength, but that can be very, very difficult. And as I get older and older, it gets more and more difficult, definitely. So spending time alone for me has been also through choice, because I don't really find it easy to connect with a lot of people. And also having superficial connections or being in a situation where with people you don't connect with is just, much rather be on my own, for sure. But there are times, and also I've been working alone at home for many years. It was 12 years ago this year that I set up my website, venusohara.org, and I did spend some time with other people who were working from home, who had online businesses, who taught me how to use WordPress, etc. But that was very select, my time spent with other people. And also I've written books, and that's a lot of hours that you spend alone, definitely. But I think it's a fantastic skill to actually feel at ease and complete when you're on your own. And I've also been on holiday alone in different situations. For example, I have many friends and family scattered all around the world. So in the past, I've gone to New York, I've gone to Canada, I've gone to different places where I've gone on my own, stayed in a hotel, but I knew someone in the city. And I've also done a few retreats as well, which is a kind of situation where you would travel alone and then you're part of a group when you get there, but you can totally do your own thing. And also business trips, many of them, and also just completely going on your own somewhere. I went to Formentera, I've been to some parts of Spain as well on my own, just as a little adventure, and that just takes a lot of strength of character, I think, to actually go on holiday alone, or even go to a restaurant alone, have lunch on your own or dinner on your own. I've done that a lot because I'm such a foodie. Sometimes I don't want to wait for someone else to go with me if I've got a certain craving for certain foods. Definitely. And also sometimes when I'm in airports and I can see couples who've spent probably too much time together on holiday and they might not be used to it, and they're kind of really irritable. I look at them and I think, oh my God, I'm so glad I don't have to put up with that. But of course, you should never kind of completely cut yourself off from other people. That's a danger. And I think relationships, despite what I'm telling you now, are the most important thing in life. I mean, the close relationships you have, that's your wealth in life more than anything else. I definitely believe that. But you have to be definitely selective and not just spend your time and energy with just anyone. But even me, that I feel I'm quite comfortable in my own space, on my own, etc. I have felt loneliness at times, just like anyone would. And I remember actually last summer I did a walking pilgrimage called the Camino de Santiago. And that's something that many people go there on their own. And then you would just you meet people on the way. So it's a kind of cool situation if you're into solo travel. And you meet people along the way, but obviously last year there were less people walking than other years due to the pandemic. And one particular day I was feeling like I was really craving a human connection. And I met some people who I was very happy to meet at the time. We had a lot in common at that time because we were both walking. But then out of that context, we had nothing in common whatsoever. And I met a guy who just... who kind of became a stalker. I don't think he was a dangerous person, but I just felt this after we did meet a couple of times after the Camino, and I just felt this real kind of energetic rejection of him, and I just thought. And I had to actually block him on several platforms just because he kept contacting me relentlessly. And I felt just that's a long story, but I did actually talk about that in another video called Double Texting. However, I did learn a really valuable lesson from that experience. And I thought, wow, I have to be more kind of at ease with my loneliness before just letting anyone into my space and energy, etc. So I started to kind of think about really cultivating myself more and being more selective and being more kind of content to spend a weekend on my alone rather than just making plans just to not be alone. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense. And also, I think it's really important to not look to others to fill a void in yourself. I think that's really, really important. And that also applies to dating and relationships. Some people just would rather be in a crappy relationship than be on their own because they can't stand looking at yourself. Because when you spend a lot of time on your own, you're really looking at yourself and who you are and where you are, and it takes a lot of self-acceptance. And I don't think it's easy. It's not even easy for me. But also, I think there's a danger when you're alone in that situation, or a situation where you're feeling loneliness as well. I was watching an interview a few months ago with, I think she's called Catherine Oxenberg, and she was talking about her daughter being in a cult and she was rescuing her daughter or something. And she was saying about the kind of people who get caught up in this type of thing. And it wasn't about how intelligent people were or different backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds. It was about a time in your life when you're particularly vulnerable. I think that's something you have to watch out for in life. And I think a lot of people are feeling quite vulnerable now with this, with the pandemic and the situation that we're in of spending time alone when you're maybe not used to it. And I think you have to really pay attention to those feelings and think, is this person adding value to my life? Who is this person? How much should I share with this person, etc. whenever you're bringing someone new into your life. Yeah, I was looking at my notes here. I said anything tick, 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 tick. So now I want to talk about how to spend your time alone. Yeah, well, one great thing to do, well, for me, I have a lot of friends and family who live in different places, and even in Barcelona, but we're not really meeting up now. And I think it's fantastic to make use of all the technology we have to connect with people who do mean something to you. And I've also had a lot of friends. Well, Barcelona is quite a transient city, so I've been here for many, many years, and a lot of the people that are part of my inner circle have now left. So I do use my alone time to actually connect with people who do mean something to me. And also with all the video conferences now, and it's just so easy to actually be in contact with people without it costing an arm and a leg. I remember years ago when I was in university, I had a boyfriend in Colombia, and I just missed him so much once. I actually called him, and it cost £200. That was crazy, but we don't have to worry about that kind of thing now, fortunately. And also, I do, as I said before, going on holiday alone, I think it's a great experience to do, or even just the weekend. But I do believe that retreats are a fantastic thing. And if you're really brave, and you want to face yourself and your inner demons and have some thought detox, then doing a silent retreat is something that could be that could work for some people. And that they're called, I think it's called Vipassana. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it's a 10-day retreat, and it's all meditation, silence. You don't even look at the other people in the eye, and they take your mobile away, so there's no social media or anything like that. But it's a great opportunity to actually be alone with your thoughts and really face yourself big time in a kind of metaphorical mirror, you know. And then going to restaurants alone, I think, is a good thing to do as well, just to actually have some self-confidence and just go in and say, table for one, you know, and not feel that you're a really sad and lonely person for doing that. Yeah, and also I think it's really interesting to spend the time for self-cultivation, learning, personal growth. I know for sometimes in my life when I've been a bit kind of feeling a bit lost, I've really taken the opportunity to actually go on YouTube and find content and that I think that's going to take me to the next level, or meditation, or reading books, which is a great solitary activity as well, or just taking a book and going to a park, going somewhere nice. Yeah. So anyway, that's all I have to share about the art of spending time alone. And I would like to know if you have any tips on this subject. So I think a lot of people are going through it now. And if you do, don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below. Or if you have any suggestions for new videos, don't hesitate to write to me at venus@venusohara.org. Or you can contact me on Instagram @venusohara. Thanks for watching.